女の子との初デートで重要なのは相手に与える印象をいかに良くするかである。不潔な格好は論外。特に髪はきちんと散髪すること。長髪は汚らしく見えるので NG。 服装に関してもぴったり合ったサイズのものを着ていくこと。特に秋葉系の男子は大きめのサイズの服を好んで着ている傾向にあるが、これはだらしなく見えるので良くない。
And he should not wear his lab coat. Why exactly am I in a maid cafe getting date advice from my younger assistant, who is also a girl? You're just like a couple months older than her.
初デートではお互いに緊張していることもあって会話が途切れがち。重要なのは会話のキャッチボール。一方的に話すだけでは相手が楽しいはずがない。特に女性は会話をするのが大好きなので、むしろ男性は女性の話を聞く側に回ってあげるべき。ただ聞くだけではなく、きちんと相槌を打つことが必要。そうすることで女性は話をちゃんと聞いてくれる人だと思うはず。
Please take note, all very good advice.
つまりいつも通りの岡部じゃ全く話にならないってことね。
Not that one, but...
とりあえず普通に喋ることから始めないと。あ、例のバカっぽい高笑いは当然禁止ってことで。そもそもあんたって女の子に優しくないのよね。普段の物言いが尊大すぎる。というか偉そうでムカつく。電波妄想も垂れ流すし。
デートマニュアル本を音読しているだけの文在で上から目線はやめろこのメリケン少女めが。
Since neither of us know anything about romance, we're studying out of a dating manual we brought on the way here.
誰がメリケン少女だ。
Oh dear.
お前以外に誰がいる？
はいはい、童貞オツ。知ってる？一度も侵入を許していない砦は頼もしくて、一度も侵入に成功しない兵士は頼りないっていう格言。
それは格言じゃないだろう。というか低レベルな争いにおいて勝ち誇るな。
確かになんだか虚しくなってきた。でもこのデートマニュアルって結構面白いこと書いてあるな。
Kurisu flips through the manual on top of the table.
自分はさりげなく車道側を歩くとか、女の子にお金を出させるのは現金とか。いい？これ明日のデートで全部守らないとダメよ。
I wonder if I can really be that careful.
あとは清潔なハンカチを持っていくこと。女の子が公園のベンチに座るときはすぐに広げてあげること。
That one's really sweet.
俺は世話係ではない。
そう書いてあるんだからしょうがないでしょ。ご飯は立ち食いそばとかファーストフードは避ける。ファミレスがボーダーライン。それ以上は自分の財布の中身と相談して。
ファミレスがボーダーライン。
Where are the family restaurants in Akiba?
待ち合わせ場所には最低15分前には来ておくこと。遅刻厳禁。
15分前到着。
あとはデートコースね。映画館とか美術館、街をブラブラ歩く食事っていうのが無難らしい。
なるほど。意外と地味なんだな。俺はてっきり初デートというぐらいだから夕焼けの綺麗なリゾート風海岸へ行き、そこでファーストキスを交わさなければならないのかと。
Sounds like he's a bit of a romantic.
あ、それすごくロマンチック。じゃなくて童貞思考全開だな。ドラマや漫画の見過ぎ。
Though shoujo manga can come up with some good date ideas, so it can be a little bit of studying.
お前もな。
ちなみに相手は未成年なんだから、 ホテルに連れ込もうなんて不潔なこと考えないでよ。
Absolutely.
それはない。
ざっとこんなところね。どう？私のレクチャー少しは役に立った？
お前のレクチャーではなく、マニュアル本のレクチャーだろう。
Anyway, strolling around town counts as a date, huh? I mean, you have to see cute things and kind of map out some good places first. In that case, I don't have to waste money.
にゃにゃ、今日誰かとデートするのかにゃ。
Felice comes to our table carrying drinks.
お待たせしました。アイスコーヒーになりますにゃ。
As usual, she pours milk and syrup right in front of me. Kurisu watches with great interest. I guess this is her first time at a maid cafe.
デート相手はマユシーかにゃ。
Felice winks at me playfully while stirring Kurisu's iced coffee.
なぜそこでマユリが出てくるのだ？
That's a fair assumption, though.
はにゃ、違うのかにゃ。じゃあ
Felice looks at Kurisu. Also a good assumption.
この子なのにゃ。
いや、こいつは助手だ。
Kurisu and I exchanged glares sharper than a sword's blade. I swear sparks are flying. Sparks of romance are flying.
じゃあ別の子なのにゃ。今日待ってばいろんな子に手を出しすぎだにゃ。
I have to agree.
はあ、いろんな子に手を出しすぎなのか。
I'm going for your route, or the true end route for Kurisu.
何をバカな。
Well, I guess I did hug Felice. But that was on the 14th, so when I time leaped to the 12th, it was undone. I shake off that pang of loneliness and return to the conversation. The next day finds me strolling around Akiba with Lukako.
次はどこに行きましょうか。
Event number 1, lunch at a family restaurant, is already complete. I took care of the bill and now we're back out in the heat. I've got the entire day planned out in my head. The next event is...
街をブラブラするぞ。しよう。
It's a Bon holiday, so Akiba is crowded. To avoid the crowds, we end up walking through the back streets. If it's a Bon season, we do like yukata and go around festival time and watch the fireworks. That would be really cute. My plan is to walk with Lukako all the way to Ueno and back. That should be enough, right? It's also very hot. You gotta pay attention to what kind of shoes she's wearing. I walk quickly. Also bad. Slow down. This conversation thing isn't going so well. I try to follow the guide's advice and be a good listener, but Lukako is silent by nature. She doesn't really start talking on her own, so you have to have some good questions ready. Even at the family restaurant, the words we exchanged were mostly things like, "It's crowded today," "It's delicious," and "It was delicious." And I think it was a mistake just to wander around. Yeah, like if you went to an aquarium or something, that gives you a lot of different conversation pieces. And especially if you're quiet, I would recommend something like that. If both people are interested in it, though. Especially since we've ended up in a residential area with no interesting scenery whatsoever.
岡部さん。
Lukako speaks up. She's a few steps behind me.
なんだ。
I stop and turn around. Lukako catches up and we start walking together again.
覚えていますか？僕と岡部さんが
初めて出会った時のこ
おう。
Of course, what I actually remember is how I met the male Lukako. It was during Golden Week in May. I was searching Akiba for materials to build a new future gadget when I saw Lukako in his Miko garb, surrounded by some cameramen.
と。やめてください。無理です。
お願いします。写真を1枚撮らせてもらうだけでいいんで。そのコスプレすごく燃えるっていうか、ここまで巫女服を着こなしてるレイヤー見たことないし。
これはコスプレじゃなくて。
できれば可愛らしいポーズ撮ってもらえるとめちゃ嬉しいんだけど。あ、じゃああれだよ、俺ミコミコオーバードライブのめぐみた。来たー、それ最高。めぐみたん知ってるよね。やってくれないかな。
知りません。すみません。
なんでそんな嫌がるわけ？コスプレして秋葉に来たのって写真撮られるためなわけでしょ。なのに嫌がるとかおかしくない？
If someone says no to pictures, even if they're adorable, you gotta stop.
そうだよ。それとも俺たちがキモいから拒否ってるわけ？
違います。これはコスプレじゃなくて。
To be honest, the Miko garb fascinated me. Because Miko are sacred, chosen to serve the gods. I know college girls are doing it for money these days, but as far as I'm concerned, that's sacrilege. As is demanding to photograph a sacred Miko. I couldn't let it pass.
そこのカメラ小僧ども。え？なんだよ君。
この俺を知らないだと。俺の名はハーイン・キョーマ。神が地上に具現せし灰色の脳細胞の持ち主にして世界に混沌をもたらす狂気のマッドサイエンティストだ。
何こいつ。マジ吉。
それぐらいでやめておけ。その巫女が嫌がっているだろう。
なんという中二病ですか。かっこよく女の子を助けて。
ドキュンはお前たちだ。か弱い女子に男二人でまとわりつき、天津さえ変態写真を撮りたいと懇願するとは、オタクのプライドすら捨てたか。
いえ、僕は。
聖なる巫女を怯えさせるカメラ小僧。カメラ小僧などではない。それは単なる変質者だ。お前たちに聖地秋葉を歩く資格はないと知れ。
Okabe using his Chunibyo powers for good.
なんだと？可愛い三次元女子をローアングルから狙うのはみんなやってるだろう。素人のくせにお高く止まるなって言いたいね。秋葉にコスプレしてきてる時点で無差別に取られても文句言えないでしょ、マジで。違うん
です。僕は男です。
Instantly, our jaws dropped to the ground.
だから僕なんかとっても意味ないんですよ。
Lukako murmured sadly.
え、マジで？そんなの嘘だ。こんな可愛い子が男のはずが。
男です。喉仏もあります。
Lukako lifted his chin a bit, exposing his pale neck. The gesture... Okay. There was indeed a lump on his neck.
じゃあ、下もついているんですか？
That's a really rude question to ask. None of your business. He was already crying by that point. So were the cameramen.
なんだよ、紛らわしいな。っていうか、男なのに巫女服着てるとかマジ吉だろ。
That's rich coming from a bunch of bullies.
取らなくてよかった。騙された気分だよ。
What's their problem? Just get out of here. They left the place, mumbling complaints all the while. Those bastards were a disgrace to otaku everywhere. Daddy would have said something like, "Someone this cute can't be a girl. Awesome." Daru is the true otaku.
どうもありがとうございました。
Daru is supportive of cuteness from anyone.
ああ、いや。
でも僕みたいな男を助けてがっかりですよね。期待に添えなくてすみません。
お前、名前は？
漆原ルカです。
なぜ俺に謝った？
だって僕こんな顔なのに男だし。
There's nothing wrong with that.
そんなことはどうでもいい。お前が男だろうが女だろうが関係ない。だがそのひがんだ根性、気に入らないな。ついてこい。お前にいいものをやる。そのアイテムさえあればお前は勇気を得るだろう。お前の中に眠る真の力の存在にも気づくはずだ。どうした？力が欲しくないのか？
いえ、力ですか？
そうだ。俺はお前に力を与えることができる。さあ、求めろ。欲しろ。力を。カメラ小僧にも負けない。お前だけの力を求めるのだ。
まさかその後武器屋本舗に行ってサミダレを買ってもらえるとは思ってもみませんでした。
So Okabe was her knight in shining armor, came out, protected Lukako, accepted them regardless of their gender, and was there to boost their confidence.
いや。
I didn't think Lukako would actually come with me. But when Lukako did, I realized that Lukako had potential. That's probably why I bought the 980 yen tax-included demon sword. Afterwards, Lukako and I went through intense training to develop the Seishin Sama School of Swordsmanship. In retrospect, I can't believe I said all that ridiculous stuff. It makes me want to crawl in a hole and hide.
とてもびっくりしましたけど、でも岡部さんがあの時言ってくれた「そんなことはどうでもいい」っていう言葉はすごく嬉しかったんです。変ですよね、そんな言葉に感動しちゃうなんて。
Lukako's cheek then turned rosy pink. Her blush is too powerful. I have to look away.
でもその言葉があったから、だから好きになったんです。
What a sweetie. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a goddamn second. Is she saying what I think she's saying? But thought Lukako was a guy. What can I say? You like who you like. Does that mean I made the guy Lukako fall in love with me? Mm-hmm. My mind goes blank. Oh god. And that's a lot coming from him. He was checking Lukako out in all timelines. By the time I drop her off back at the shrine, I'm worn out physically and mentally. We ended up walking for 4 hours straight, which was tiring, but my mental exhaustion is even greater. We end up walking for 4 hours straight, which is tiring, but my mental exhaustion is greater. In the end, we didn't talk much. We just walked.
今日はすごく楽しかったです。
そうか。
Lukako deserves someone that treats them really well. She's just saying that out of consideration. I can tell that she's forcing her smile. Really? All through the date, I couldn't stop thinking about the time Lukako fell in love with me, so I barely made conversation at all. And that's on you. That manual was completely useless. On this world line, Lukako was a girl from the beginning, so Lukako's memories when we first met might be inconsistent with mine. I mean, it's a possibility, but I think it's the same no matter what. But even with that in consideration, Lukako's story still felt out of place.
それでは
Lukako fidgets as she whispers.
なんだ。
また明日。
え？
She wants to go on a date again tomorrow? I mean, we are a couple and we are going out, and that means that we like each other and it's summer break right now, so it's natural to go on a date every day.
明日も岡部さんと一緒にいたいです。
どうも。
ダメですか？
It's okay.
ダメなんてことはない。うん、本当に。
よかった。
Lukako smiles again. She looks so happy and relieved. Seeing her like this makes incomprehensible feelings well up inside of me.
それじゃあまた明日。
I feel a huge weight on my shoulders. Another date tomorrow. Tomorrow.
てってるー、おかえり。
リア充は死ね。
When I return to the lab, I'm greeted by Mighty's smile and Daru's pure hatred.
まさか中二病のオカリンに彼女ができるとか。飯まずってレベルじゃねえぞ。
ルカちゃんとのデートはどうだった？
Mighty's so supportive.
まあ、なんとか。ステージクリアしたかも。
Probably not, actually.
ねえねえ、あさってのコミマ、ルカちゃんとオカリンでコスプレカップルとして出てみようって思ったりしないかな。
That would be adorable.
オカリンからもね、彼氏としてルカちゃんを説得してほしいな。マユシーがどれだけお願いしてもね、ちっとも OK してくれないんだよ。コスプレでもラブラブなオカリンからお願いされたらね、きっとコロって OK すると思うんだ。
断る。
Why?
なんで？
Especially because he doesn't have any idea of his own. Because that's the problem. ComiMa is on the 15th. Mighty is fated to die that night. How am I supposed to spend the hours before her death cosplaying at ComiMa?
正直なところ、 デートの面白さがさっぱり理解できない。
ゲーオカリンてめえ、それは世の中の童貞諸君を敵に回す発言だぞ。謝れ、童貞に謝れ。
だって考えてみろ。相手にひたすら気を使い、気まずい中で2人で歩き回って食事をして帰る。
Okabe, you've gone on one date and you chose to do those things.
どうだ、面白い要素があるか？
オカリン、そんなこと言うとね、ルカちゃんが悲しむよ。
Mayuri's expression is uncharacteristically serious.
好きな人と一緒にいるだけでね、女の子は幸せなんだよ。満足なんだよ。男の子はそうじゃないのかな。だとしたらマユシーは寂しいです。
Why would that make Mayuri sad? It makes me sad too.
オカリンがマイノリティなんだよ。つうか、デートって言えばエロイベントたくさんあんだろう。
お前は実にバカだな。
何言ってんだよ。手をつなぐとかマジエロくね？腕を組んでおっぱいを肘に当ててんのよ状態とかエロすぎっしょ。
Okay, Daru's jealous that Okabe gets to go on dates and is complaining about them. Kurisu's jealous that Okabe is dating Lukako. And Mayuri's mad that Okabe isn't appreciating time with Lukako. All are very valid, I'd have to say.
そしてデートの終わりにはキスして締めだろ。チキショー、リア充のバカ。
エロゲーのやりすぎだ。
ねえねえ、ルカちゃんはいつからオカリンのことを好きだったのかな。
いつからって、それは。
とてもびっくりしましたけど、でも岡部さんがあの時言ってくれた「そんなことはどうでもいい」っていう言葉はすごく嬉しかったんです。その言葉があったから、だから好きになったんです。
You also can't just go on dates with people to make the other person happy. You know, they want to go on a date with someone that reciprocates that, you know? I think back on what she said. Something still feels off about her story. I said that Luca... Oh, I said that Luca's gender didn't matter. And that wouldn't have happened in this timeline, right? I remember that clearly. But didn't I say that because Lukako was a guy?
そうだ。そうだよ。変だ。
And Lukako knew about the IBM 5100, and Lukako's not a PC retro maniac person. Like, they might have known it as, oh yeah, there was an old computer there, but... Now I know it feels out of place. Does Lukako have reading Steiner too? I wouldn't have said that to a female Lukako, so why does this Lukako remember what I said back then? I recall what happened with Ferisu.
思い出したにゃ。フェイリスが叶えたのは10年前に死んだパパを 生き返らせることに。
So maybe they can remember things that are tied to their Dmail? Feidisu regained her memories from before she sent the Dmail. Could Lukako, too, have remembered the previous world line where she was a guy? That would explain everything. However, she remembers that event, and she said she liked me for it, so... Did Lukako like me even when she was a guy? Yes. I think I need to check this out. The next morning, I head to the shrine to meet with Lukako. Is this going to be a productive conversation, though? She's already waiting in the courtyard. When she sees me, she smiles and waves her hand. Too cute. Must resist.
おはようございます。
なあ、うん。
今日はそのどこへ。
それより、ルカ子。
はい。
I make up my mind and throw out the question.
お前には男だった頃の記憶が残っていないか?
That's not how I would have worded that question. Lukako twitches for a moment, and then she hangs her head.
そんなことありません。
本当に?
Lukako just nods stiffly. I consider a more forceful approach, but the words of that dating manual blaze inside my head. Whatever you do, don't make the girl sad. You might get dumped. If I get dumped, then what will happen to our 4-day agreement? Another thing is, are you asking this question because you want to know if when Lukako was a guy, if they liked you or not? I don't think that's helpful. But you could ask about, like, do you have memories of this IPN 5100? I'm trying to locate it. Lukako might refuse to turn back into a guy. No, Lukako's not like that. Mighty's life hangs in the balance, so I'm sure no matter what I say, she'll turn back. Be nice. Don't be mean to her. Or is it naive of me to think that? Either way, even though I'm doing this to save Mighty, I can't just trample on Lukako's pure maidenly heart. Should apologize for asking that question. Neither one of us speaks. Mutual distrust? Suspicion? Discomfort? One word could shatter our temporary relationship. Luka is the first to break the suffocating silence.
ごめんなさい。今日のデート中止にしましょう。
Lukako bows her head and goes back into the shrine office. And she was so excited for the date. I hurt her. I feel guilty, but at the same time, relieved. I hate myself for it. Instead of returning to the lab, I stand on the bridge in front of the station and gaze blankly at the stream of people. Feidisu might be visiting the lab. Feidisu was at the lab on this day when I first came to this world line. My actions shouldn't have influenced Mighty's, so she should still have called Feidisu over to show her the costumes. Right now, I don't want to see anybody. I need to think. But try as I might, no ideas come, no solutions. Lukako agreed to go back to being a guy if I went out with her for a time. I've stayed faithful to that, so... Faithful? How? I just made a huge mistake back there. I've done nothing but make Lukako sad. Tomorrow is the 15th, the day ComiMa opens, the day Mayuri dies. At the very least, I need to make our relationship last until that evening. Tomorrow is the end. But I'm not confident I can show Lukako a fun time. Alright, instead of fussing over a date, I'll just try something that won't make Lukako sad. The next morning, after Mairi and Daru have left for Ariake, I head to the shrine to pick up Lukako. We hop the train at Akiba Station. When she looks askance at me, I tell her we're going to see Mairi. Today, it won't just be the two of us. I don't know what to say when we're alone. I'm afraid I'll just hurt her again. It's time to try something different. When we get off the train at Tokyo Big Sight, Lukako stares in wonder at the scene spread before her. People, people, people. People as far as the eye can see. Welcome to ComiMa, the otaku festival. It's the first day, so Big Sight's more crowded than usual. This is my plan, to take Lukako to ComiMa. I'm not making her cosplay, of course. Lukako wouldn't even do it at Mairi's request, and I don't want to force her to do anything she doesn't want to. There we go. We're just here to look and have fun. The first order of business is to hook up with Mairi and Daru. Those two live and breathe ComiMa, so I'm sure they'll have a lot to talk about. Conversation will flow and I'll be off the hook. How wonderful to have friends you can count on. Of course, bringing a date to ComiMa is a surefire way to earn myself the hatred of otaku everywhere. But no matter, I'll endure their contempt if that's what it takes to make Lukako happy. So resolved, I strike out through the crowd towards our designated rendezvous point. Lukako, clearly overwhelmed by the sheer number of people, struggles to fall behind. You gotta take her hand. Near the edge of the parking lot, I see the petite Mairi wave her hands high. There aren't as many people here.
コミマにようこそ、ルカちゃん。初めて来たけど、すごいね。ゆっくりしていってね。
ダルは？
あのね、ダルくんはグッズを手に入れるために並んでる最中だから抜け出せないんだって。ひとしきり戦利品をゲットしたら合流するかもって言ってたよ。
Damn, that means he won't join up with us for at least another hour. Couldn't he forgo the battle just this once? Lukako's eyes dart from place to place. She's clearly uncomfortable in the chaotic atmosphere. There's still some awkwardness between us after what happened yesterday. Even on the train ride, we barely spoke to each other. What's the point in being a couple if it turns out like this? It was easier to talk when we weren't supposed to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Lukako seemed to enjoy herself more too. Was it a mistake to bring her to ComiMa? Well, Lukako didn't refuse. Even when I told her we were going to ComiMa, she just nodded obediently.
今日はマユシーが会場を案内してあげるよ。って言ってもね、人が多いから邪魔にならないようにしなくちゃ。まずはコスプレ会場に行って、それから中に入ろうかな。
Lainie's more cheerful than usual. She must be happy to have us here.
ねえねえ、二人とも何が見たい？
ルカコ、見たいものはあるか？
いえ。
Lukako shakes her head.
よくわからないので、岡部さんの見たいものを見に行きたいです。
But Lukako needs to speak up about what she wants to.
俺は別にそれほど興味があるわけじゃない。
Oh dear, these two. Lukako looks unhappy. Crap, I shouldn't have answered like that.
ねえねえルカちゃん、コスプレ会場に行ったらね、絶対にコスプレに対する考え方が変わるよ。
Mairi talks happily to Lukako. I'm glad I chose to rely on this Diz who can't read the mood.
恥ずかしいとか そういうのはちっともなくてね、みんなとっても楽しそうなんだから。マユシーのコスを着てくれてるレイヤーさん、楓ちゃんとふぶきちゃんって言うんだけど、2人のことも紹介するね。でね、できれば明日も来てほしいな。そしたらね、オカリンとルカちゃんの分のコスも用意しておくから。オカリンにはね、コードジアースのゼロサム様コスが似合うと思うんだ。オカリンが一緒ならね、ルカちゃんも安心してコスプレできるでしょ。どうかな。いいアイデアだってマユシー的には思うんだ。
却下だな。
ごめんなさい。そんな。
Mighty slumps her shoulders in disappointment. In the end, Lukako and I got fed up with the amount of people and left Ariake early. We took the direct shuttle bus to Akiba that only runs during ComiMa, but it was so cramped inside, I thought I was going to die. The date isn't going well at all. By the time we get back to Akiba, Lukako and I are exhausted. My feet feel like blocks of lead, and I don't have the energy to even attempt conversation. The two of us schlep back to the shrine without speaking a word, like Spanish monks under a vow of silence. Lukako doesn't raise a single complaint, but taking her to ComiMa was obviously a mistake. Lukako's expression has been stiff ever since we met up with Mairi. Maybe she's still traumatized by otaku. The first time I met Lukako, he was being harassed by otaku. Maybe they left a bad impression. Or maybe they wanted a date where it was just the two of you. We don't talk. We spent most of the day shoulder to shoulder with strangers. I can probably count on my fingers the words I said directly to Lukako today. When we arrive at the shrine, our time as a couple will end. So this is our last chance to talk as boyfriend and girlfriend. But I'm confused. What should I talk about? I tried thinking about things we have in common. The demon sword, Samidare. The Seishin Zama school of swordsmanship. But Kurisu said to avoid chunibyo topics, and the dating manual concurred. If that's what you're both into, you should talk about that. What else is there? It finally dawns on me. There's nothing else Lukako and I share. Silence dominates the shrine. That's why you need to talk to each other. And it's fun listening, to people talk about things that they're passionate about, even if it's not your personal interest. The silence should be calming, but it's not. I've safely escorted Lukako home. Mighty's death is just 3 hours away. The temporary relationship between me and Lukako ends here. Now, I just need Lukako to give me her mother's pager number. However, is it really okay to let it end like this? These have been some bad dates. In the end, what have I done for Lukako? I haven't done squat, have I? All I've done is hurt her. Suddenly, Lukako starts sobbing. She covers her mouth with both hands but can't stop the tears pouring from her eyes.
Lukako.
When I approach her, Lukako pulls back. Lukako wipes the corner of her eyes, but the tears keep flowing, forming a glistening line down each cheek. I'm speechless. I have no idea what to do. A girl is crying before my eyes. It's my duty as a man to comfort her. I know that, and yet no words come. I just stand there like a useless statue. The cause of Lukako's tears is undoubtedly me. I didn't treat her right as my girlfriend, even if it was only a temporary arrangement. He wasn't even treating her as a good friend. You know? Friendship's important in a relationship. And now it ends with me watching Lukako as she cries. Lukako, I'm the one who did this to her. I'm the cause of her grief. And yet...
ありがとうございました。
She thanks me and bows her head.
Huh?
She lifts her head and smiles shyly through her tears.
恋人になってくれてすごく幸せでした。
That's a lie.
岡部さんも好きになれてよかったです。
That has to be a lie. Then do better. To my surprise, Lukako takes my hand in hers. Her hand is very warm and delicate. This is the first time I touched her since we became a couple. And it will be the last. Lukako places a note in my hand. And then she pulls away. She bows her head again.
それじゃ
Lukako turns her back to me, then disappears into the shrine office. I look at the note. There's a number written there. Probably her mother's pager number. She kept her promise. But you didn't. But I didn't keep mine. I can't let it end like this. I run full speed back to the lab, ignoring Kurisa's calls to stop. I slap on the headgear and leap to the past. I regain consciousness in front of Akihabara Station. Lukako is next to me. We're about to board the train for ComiMa. Operation Good Date. Lukako deserves a good date. She's so nice. And honestly deserves better. Lukako looks a little anxious, but she doesn't raise a single complaint. The shuttle bus pulls up. The huge line of people begins to move. We can't go to ComiMa like this. Shaking off my time leap-induced vertigo, I take Lukako by the hand.
あの
ついてこい。
By the hand. Once we get out of the line, I let go of Lukako's hand and start walking.
岡部さん、バス来てますけど。
コミマに行くのは中止だ。
え？
俺は好きにやらせてもらう。
岡部さん、どこへ？
Go shopping. Shopping, son.
岡部さん。
Or to his hometown. I keep walking with Lukako's hand in mine, ignoring everything else. Lukako looks bewildered at first, but eventually she says no more and starts following me with a sad expression. Oh. We arrive at Yanabayashi Shrine, a place devoid of visitors, where an aura of peace and dignity dominates, where the cries of cicadas resound. Lukako's home. Finally, I turned to face Lukako. Instead of letting go, I grasped her warm hand even tighter than before. Perhaps it's the heat, or perhaps it's their nervousness, but our hands are damp with sweat. But still, I don't let go. Lukako is hanging her head. She might cry at any moment.
これで恋人関係は終わりっていうことですよね。
Her lips tremble, her voice trembles. I summon my resolve and answer her with a laugh.
何を勘違いしている？俺たちの恋人関係はまだ終了してないぜ。
It is important to be yourself. We'll see if she's into it though. I strike a pose and mimic a line from a popular card battling anime. Until I witnessed Miley's death, this is how I acted all the time. Now, it takes some effort, but I still have it in me.
でも
さっき言っただろ。俺の好きにさせてもらうと。さあ、我が弟子よ。今すぐ妖刀サミダレを持ってくるのだ。
The wind blows. The tree glowing over the main building rustles its leaves in response. Lukako looks at me blankly. Tears form in the corner of her eyes.
なんです。
なんですだと？決まっているだろう。精神残魔流の修行だ。
修行？
この2ヶ月近く、俺たち2人でやってきた修行、忘れたのか？
いえ、でも岡部さん。
今日まだ。我が名を忘れたのか、ルカコ。俺は狂気のマッドサイエンティスト、法王院京馬だ。
Swallowing my embarrassment, I strike another pose.
男だとか女だとか、そういうところで俺は混乱して、ルカコとの距離をうまくつかめずにいた。だがな、俺とルカコの関係は初めから決まっていたんだ。その
決まっていたって何がですか？
俺は男でお前は女だ。俺たちは今日までの仮初めの恋人。
I take a deep breath. I gently comb my fingers through Lukako's hair. I twist my lips into a grin.
そんなことはどうでもいい。俺は俺であり、ルカコはルカコであり、ルカコは俺の弟子だ。
As I gently stroke her hair, Lukako puts her warm hand on top of mine. Tears collected in the corner of her eyes suddenly fall.
そうです。岡じゃなくて、京馬さんは確かに僕の師匠です。
よく言った。さあルカコよ、サミダレを持ってくるのだ。
はい。待っててくださいね。すぐ取ってきますから、ここにいてくださいね。
どこにも行かないさ。だから早く行くんだ。
Lukako reluctantly lets go of my hand, shyly turns away from me, and heads to the shrine office. Oh, Lukako is so comfortable here, and happy with him. We spend 4 hours training, just like we used to. Practice swings with the demon sword. Stories of the sword's history. lectures on the intricacies of the Seishin Zanma swordsmanship, all fabricated from my Chunibyo delusions. I talk. Lukako, dressed now in her Miko robes, listens with rapt attention. Occasionally, we take a break, sit on the shrine stairway, and eat the sweet rice balls Lukako's mother brings us. And that's how we spend an extraordinary 4 ordinary hours.
Yosh! 今日はここまで.
Lukako lowers her stance and slowly sheaths the demon sword Samidare. She looks so beautiful and majestic standing there in flowing white robes, sword shining in her hands. I find myself mesmerized once again. Lukako bows, snapping me out of it.
ありがとうございました。ちょっとだけ強くなれた気がします。
謙遜しなくていい。今日、お前は精神三魔流奥義の一つ、32式さくらんぼを得得した。だが過信はするな。お前はまだまだ弱いんだからな。
はい、もっともっと京馬さんに教えてもらいたいです。
The breeze feels nice after the sweat we worked up. We savor our comfortable fatigue as we drink the barley tea Lukako's mother brought for us.
久しぶりに京馬さんのお話聞けた気がします。
ここ何日か、俺の意識はマニュアルという恐ろしき封印術式により不安定な状態だったのだ。だがもう完全復活した。心配かけたな。
よかった。いつもの京馬さんが戻ってきてくれて。
Lukako answers happily, and that's the most important thing. And then her expression turns serious, as if she's made up her mind about something.
昨日僕に聞きましたよね。男だった時の記憶が残っているかって。
ああ。
Lukako looks away. I see her hands fidgeting in her lap. Finally, with trembling lips, she speaks.
僕覚えているんです。
No surprise. I expected she'd remember after what I experienced with Veirisu.
覚えているというか、なんて言ったらいいのか、とても儚い感じ。
儚い？は
っきり思い出したわけじゃなくて、記憶の海の底の方というか、頭の
Lukako starts pawing at the air above to the right of her head.
この辺にあるような感じです。
I don't really get it.
とにかく覚えているんだな。
Lukako nods.
すみません。昨日は嘘をついちゃいました。
気にするな。この俺、法王院京馬を欺いたのだから大したものだ。
そのおかげでお母さんのポケベルの番号も僕聞かなくても知っているんです。
She takes out a piece of paper upon which is written the number.
今日はどんな結果になってもこれを渡すつもりでした。それからもう一つ。
One more thing.
記憶のことと関係しているかどうかわからないんですけど、古いパソコンのありかについて。
Now that I didn't expect.
IBN5100 のことか。
はい。多分 そうだと思います。
True, Lukako did seem like she knew something about the IBN 5100. Plus, Luka's dad confirmed that it was here at the shrine. And then, one day, it disappeared. Does Lukako know where it is now?
それが事実なら、ルカ子、お前は男に戻らなくても済むかもしれない。
Wait, don't give them hope yet. Let's hear out what they have to say. But Lukako faintly shakes her head.
それは無理だと思います。
なんで？
Lukako grips my hand.
ついてきてください。案内します。
She looks into my eyes. Lukako is no longer crying. In the fading sunlight, her eyes shine with firm resolve. She brings me to Daibira. I look up at the huge towering building.
ここに IBN5100 が。
そっちじゃなくてですね。
Lukako faces away from Daibira and points to a coin locker tucked in a narrow alley.
去年のお正月前、
Lukako walks up to the coin locker as she talks.
その時までうちの神社にあのパソコンはあったんです。
Until New Year's. That's a contradiction. It was only 2 weeks ago I found the IBN 5100 at Yanabayashi Shrine. Which means I haven't really returned to the original world line. Which means I really haven't returned to the original world line.
僕のせいなんです。僕が神事のお手伝いで倉庫をお掃除していた時に誤って壊しちゃったんです。
壊した？
Lukako nods.
でももしお父さんに知られたら怒られると思って、それでこっそりここまで持ってきてコインロッカーの中に隠したんです。
Wait, did Lukako carry this by herself?
よくここまで持ってこられたな。あれは尋常じゃない重さだぞ。
家にあった台車を使いました。そのせいで台車まで壊れちゃったんですけど。
Even so, it must have been hard to get it here with just a push cart. Maybe she was running on adrenaline.
京馬さんが探してるって聞いた時、僕すごくびっくりして、本当のことずっと話そうって思ってたんですけど、嫌われるかもしれないって考えたら言い出せませんでした。
バカだな。そんなことでお前を嫌うわけがないだろう。何しろお前は俺の弟子なのだからな。
はい。
Lukako takes the locker key out of her pocket.
もう1年半以上放置したから管理会社に持っていかれちゃったかもしれませんけど。
1年半放置か。だとしたら絶望的だな。
This locker charges 200 yen per day. Normally, if a coin locker goes unpaid for more than a few days, the management retrieves the contents. And if the owner doesn't claim it within a month, it's usually thrown away. Meaning the IBN 5100 is already... Lukako goes to a large locker at the end of the row, inserts the key, and tries the lock.
あ、鍵かかってないみたいです。
確定だな。
Sure enough, Lukako opens the door to reveal an empty locker.
すみません。
Either way, it doesn't matter. There's no point in retrieving a broken IBN 5100. But I don't tell her that.
お前が責任を感じなくてもいい。俺が安易に世界を歪ませたのが一番の元凶なんだからな。
京馬さん。
That's why I must bear the burden. Mighty's pain, Suzuha's pain, Fades' pain, and now Lukako's pain. Something occurs to me. What if I send a Dmail telling Lukako to not sweep the storehouse? How would that change the world line? Would the IBN 5100 stay at Yanabayashi Shrine, ready for me to retrieve in August as planned? Part of me wants to try sending that Dmail. If it works, Lukako could stay a girl. No, I mustn't give into the temptation. My goal is to restore the world line, not to warp it further. Fix the past to save Mighty. That is my mission.
僕の記憶、なんだか奇妙なんです。
奇妙とは？
僕の記憶の中には、あのパソコンのことについての2つの記憶が混ざっていて、一つはパソコンを壊した僕の記憶、もう一つはそんなパソコンは全然知らないし、倉庫のお掃除もしなかった僕の記憶。男だった僕はパソコンを壊してません。倉庫の掃除の代わりに本殿のお掃除をしていたから。
So Lukako swept the storehouse because she became a girl. Because she swept the storehouse, she broke the IBN 5100 and deposited it into this coin locker. As a result, the IBN 5100 will never reach me. Is this the butterfly effect?
やっぱり僕が男に戻るしか方法はないみたいです。
There's no longer any doubt in her eyes. There's no choice. She knows it as well as I. We return empty-handed to Yanabayashi Shrine, which is dyed scarlet by the setting sun. Lukako lets go of my hand after we arrive. We spent the whole walk hand in hand. Then she turns to me.
今度こそお別れですね。
ああ。
京馬さんと修行ができて本当に良かったです。
She smiles shyly again, but her cheeks are dyed pink. I can tell she's desperately holding back her tears, but those tears hold a different meaning than the ones I saw before I time leaped. At least, I'd like to think so.
俺はお前に恋人らしいことは何もしてやれなかったな。
そんなことはどうでもいいですよ。
そうだった。
I'm sincerely relieved, because Lukako smiled for me.
まゆりちゃんのこと助けてあげてください。まゆりちゃんは僕にとっても大事なお友達ですから。
ルカ子。
もう行ってください。出ないと僕泣いちゃいそうで。だからお願いします。
Lukako.
今日までありがとうございました。こういう時は例の合言葉ですよね。エルサイコンガリ
コングルーだ。
I find myself smiling. Lukako forces a smile too.
エルサイコングルーフです。
She bows deeply. She doesn't raise her head. A sign for me to go already. I turn back to the archway at the shrine's entrance. My feet are heavy. They won't advance. I stop in front of the stairs. Then I take out my phone.
もしもし岡部、まゆりから電話あったわよ。プンプンしてた。あんたがコミマに来る約束をすっぽかしたって。
クリスティーナ、今から言う番号を電話レンジカッコ仮に入力してくれ。
何よ、どういうことか説明して。
いいから頼む。これからD メールを送る。
I hear a sigh on the other end of the phone.
番号は
I tell her Lukako's mother's pager number with another string of numbers attached. I'm not gonna read that. Meat, meat, veg, veg, meat, meat, veg, veg. When she sees this, Lukako's mother will probably think it's a prank. And then she'll assume the Dmail we sent earlier was also a prank. If that still doesn't change the world line, we can just try something else. Pagers in 1992 didn't display the sender's number. Lukako's mother won't know who sent it. I already told Kurisu the timer setting. Everything's ready. I hang up once I confirm that the 42-inch CRT is on. Now I just need to call the phone wave name subject to change. Then the world line will change. Lukako will turn back into a guy. Her memories will disappear. Mighty won't die today. However, I hesitate to open my address book. My thoughts turn to Lukako, who probably is still watching me from behind. If I turn around, what will I see on her face? I want to check, but I don't think she'd want that. Lukako finally smiled for me today, but I still have lingering reservations inside. This time, about to sacrifice Lukako's memories. The memories of the 17 years she lived as a girl on this world line. The memories of her parents who rejoiced when their daughter was born. I'm about to erase all of that. But if I don't, I will be rejecting the 17 years Lukako lived as a guy. I'll be rejecting the memories of his parents who rejoiced when their son was born. Even so, is it okay to turn Lukako back into a guy? I'm lost and cannot take another step. I've sacrificed the memories of 2 friends already. The sight of their tears is burned into my mind. Something soft presses against my back. Lukako has embraced me from behind. I hear faint sobbing. What expression is she making now? Even without looking, I can tell.
僕、本当は戻りたくないです。
Her words are like needles stabbing into my heart.
だって男に戻ったら岡部さんへのこの気持ち封印しなくちゃいけないから。男なのに岡部さんのこと好きでいちゃいけないと思うから。
No, I wouldn't. I have nothing against homosexuals. But unfortunately, I am heterosexual. I won't be able to answer Lukako's feelings if he's a guy.
それに今日の記憶も消えちゃうんですよね。 しぶりに二人で修行をしたことも、こうして今岡部さんの体に触れていることも忘れたくない。僕忘れたくないです。だって好きだから。岡部さんのこと好きだから。まゆりちゃんを助けたい気持ちは僕にもあるから、しょうがないって理性では理解できていても、やっぱり辛いです。せめて今日の記憶だけは残しておきたかったです。こんなに辛い気持ちを味わうって知ってたなら、女の子になりたいなんて願うんじゃなかった。
ルカ子、
すみません。そんなことはどうでもいいの気持ちですよね。
お前が男に戻っても俺にとってルカ子はルカ子だ。それは変わらない。
はい、そう言ってもらえて嬉しいです。岡部さん、メール送ってください。お願いします。早く送って。これ以上岡部さんのぬくもりを感じていたら、僕もっと嫌なこと言っちゃいそうだから。
Lukako.
もう気持ちを我慢できなくなっちゃうから。
だが
Is this really okay?
岡部さん、お願い。
I'm about to sacrifice someone again. Is this my place to make that decision? But she made that decision. My fingers tremble around my phone. But Lukako embraces those trembling fingers with her own.
僕のこと覚えていてくれますか？
Thank you, Lukako. We will remember. Lukako places her finger on top of mine, on top of the send button.
ありがとう、岡部さん。さようなら。
Lukako. Lukako's a sweetie, and I do worry about them a lot. I was touched that regardless of the outcome of the date, Lukako was always determined to save my AD. I think for Lukako and Okabe to work as a couple, obviously you need to work on being able to communicate wants and needs and feeling safe and comfortable with each other, which we did start to see at the end. Lukako is a good person, and I hope that Lukako will be happy on all timelines as they come to understand their own identity or orientation and become more confident in themselves. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please take care and Eru sai konguru.